welcome back to another edition of Don Watches Movies Late at Night, except not as late as usual, because tonight we have a special guest here, the world famous and internet beloved horror cat dad, the horror cat dad, the YouTube entertainer of the month for December. So illustrious man in the crowd. Do you still still boss people around and stuff, or have you totally relinquished your reign?
No, I told Matt, I was just like, here, man, just take it. I'm done. I can't handle all the pressure anymore. I want the spotlight off of me. So yeah, no, man. Thanks for that lovely introduction, man. I mean, I don't know if I'm worldly renowned and loved, but
King Willie for life.
Yeah, King Willie for life. There you go.
King Willie for life. Internet Eric here. Nice to have you. Also, our friend Echo Zero is already here. He says meow. Apparently, Echo. He's in cat mood. Mm-hmm. He speaks cat. He speaks horror cat dad. I'm going to be watching the movie tonight on HBO Max. I'm sorry, or I don't know if you have HBO cable. It's probably on their on-demand system. But either way, I'm watching it through Max. How are you going to be watching it tonight?
Same. Max.
All right, good deal. Welcome, Trash Picture Show.
Hey, Marty.
Watched you and Larry together the other day, so it's good stuff. Let me see here.
And see on mine it says like watch again. Like, are you sure you want to watch again? I'm like, heck yes. That's
how I was with some movies too. I put them on Max, and they're like, "Want to watch this again?" That's how The Dead Zone was the other night. So. This is an hour and 48 minutes. This was released in 1990. Hello, Queen Mayanne is in the house. Forever Queen. Let's see here. Greetings and salutations from the great Professor Macabro. Predator 2, underrated and underappreciated. I agree.
Definitely.
I think it took a beating because no Arnold. But the truth is, it's its own kind of movie. So you have to kind of know the Predator lore, but then detach yourself from the Arnold story and go on a new adventure. Trash also says it's on Disney Plus if you got that too. All right. Man's giving up love. Thank you, sweet. Let's see here. Half Lethal Weapon, half Predator. I like it. Hello, Mustard and Macabro. Hello, Echo. Everybody's just saying hello to each other. So,
Mustard and wow.
Yeah. Echo's a trickster. You got to watch him. I know you're a fan of this. And for those of you who don't follow Larry's channel, The Horror Cat Dad, I recommend you go check it out and see all the great stuff he's got going on there. Primarily what he is a collector of various film collectibles, mainly NECA toys, but a variety of other figurines. He also is into art and signed lithographs. He also does movie reviews and stuff. But one of the things that jumps out at you is his awesome breakdowns of the NECA characters. And some of the figurines that he has. How many of the Lost Tribe from Predator 2 do you have now?
I have 7. I'm missing 3.
Okay, so there's 10 total. You have 70% of the Lost Tribe. That a boy. You're collecting them all.
I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there. Yeah. One way or the other, I'm going to get there.
That a boy. I think to me, the Lost Tribe is maybe the most memorable part of this, but there's a lot that's memorable. So we'll have a lot to talk about. But for those of you who are a fan of Predator and Predator 2 and all the Predator extended legacy mythos, I recommend a deep dive into Larry's page to check out some of the discussions of the different characters of the Lost Tribe and the Predator series from beginning to end. Our friend Ben Grimm is here. Ben just said he watched this for the first time today. What'd you think, Ben? Let us know what you thought in the comments. Mustard and big fan of Chuck E. Cheese. I think Echo Clown is here, not Echo Zero. I think we've been infiltrated. Oh, Anthony's here. He's watched the Critics' Choice Awards. What did you think of the Critics' Choice Awards, Anthony? Give me your breakdown in the comments, brother. Juan is here. Monroy, hey guys.
How's it going, brother?
Hey, brother. Just sub the picture show. Awesome. That's great. Thank you, Mayanne. I'd like to get everybody here some love. Ben says he thought it was a perfect sequel. So, yeah, I agree. It would be easy to get caught doing another jungle movie or another like Most Dangerous Game movie, but this sort of mixes it up. It gives us a whole new cast. It goes. It's still ensemble, but it feels like a Danny Glover movie. You know, it's got Busey and Paxton and Maria Conchita.
Yeah, and then it's just all the way around, man. Like, there's a lot of people that are good in this. From even the sleazy reporter, you know, to the other Baldwin that's with Peter Keyes as his lackey. What is it? The other off-brand Baldwin. I don't remember his name. I know he's in Firefly though.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let me see. Yeah, he's not in the.
Plays Jane in Firefly.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, Ruben Blades, Busey, of course. So yeah, we've got a good cast. Adam Baldwin. Adam Baldwin. Yeah, Ben says Adam also. Anthony says the Critics' Choice or the People's Choice Award was awesome. Boy, so and that's nice. That's nice. Everybody's playing nicely in the chat. That's good to see. Be sure to put in the chat your thoughts on Predator 2 at any point, or which is your favorite Predator. Do you like this more than Predator 1, Larry, or is this? Yeah, I was going to say Predator 1 is the king of it.
Man.
Is this your favorite sequel to the Predator? Do you like this better than Predators or any of the AVP movies?
Definitely. This is. I mean, for me, it's obviously Predator, Predator 2, and then Prey.
I still haven't seen Prey.
Yeah, it's good, man.
I'm slacking on that. I'm slacking on that. Yeah, everybody who says it, I haven't heard a bad review of it yet. And it's one that after Predators, was that or Predator, right? Was that, yeah, the most recent awful one besides Prey, the one before Prey.
Yeah.
Yeah, just brutal. And that one turned me off to the whole series. So when Prey came out, there was no rush. I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. A direct-to-streaming Predator movie. But then the reviews came back and everybody loved it. And they said it tied it back to everything, with the gun at the end of this and all that. So, want some candy? He resides on the holy mountain. Exactly. That's one of the things. This is a movie that's got a lot of quotable, cool lines in it. Mm-hmm. It's got, I was watching it on cable, I don't know, about a month ago. I just had it on in the background. And a lot of the scenes at the end in the city look like they take place in the same setting as Blade Runner. Like the Roy Batty stuff at the end on the side of the building.
Yeah.
A lot of it looks like it might be the same set. So keep an eye out for that later on when we work our way to the end.
I will, man, because that's one thing, me, I love Blade Runner. So
that's why I thought you might recognize it. Is it the cityscape at the end, all that stuff on the side of the building looks like the end of Blade Runner. I don't know if it's the same area or if they just modeled it after, or if it's just a coincidence or what. But
maybe it's just like because it's like hot instead of like rainy all the time. That's why I didn't recognize it.
Man, it could be. He did a speech. Ben says Danny Glover did a speech at his junior high. It's hard for me to imagine the guy who needed help getting upstairs could beat a Predator. He was getting too old for that shit. That's the thing with Danny Glover. I think he's a strange replacement for part 2. In Arnold in the first one, and then now this one with Danny being the lead, it felt like it was a lesser movie. But the story, I think, is actually maybe even deeper and a little bit more going on to it than the original.
I mean, there's definitely a little bit more lore to it, and then they add the extra predators at the end and stuff like that. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. I mean, we're talking 1990, so I think we're past that. Spoilers, whatever. But no, man, I honestly they did a lot more. I mean, at least weaponry wise. I mean, it's a good sequel for sure. It's not going to beat the first one. I feel like the characters are, for being a Predator movie, they're fairly grounded. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I agree. It doesn't get too supernatural. It introduces the whole, I don't know what you call it, the like Chinese star disc thing, the
smart disc.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty awesome. Professor says it inspired his all-time favorite Predator story, Batman versus Predator, where the city hunter Jotha comes to Gotham and fights Batman. Amazing Andy Cooper artwork. The professor always knows. He's always got his fingers in a lot of pies. I like that guy. Okay, Pussyface, it's your move. Shit happens. Hey, Eric knows them all. Can't taste too long after work in the morning, but enjoy the movie. We appreciate you dropping by.
Thanks, Eric, man.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you for the site, sir. I appreciate it. So yeah, I figure it's 10:11. We should probably get started here in a second. I know some people have tomorrow. It's the holiday, Martin Luther King Day, but not everybody gets off for that. So various jobs and whatnot. So Larry will be with us a little bit later, but he has to get to bed like a normal person too. So
if I stay over, it's fine, man. I mean, it's not like I got to be at work at 6 a.m. So
all right,
tomorrow I'm actually off. So if we go over a little bit, I'm fine.
Well, it's a hour and 48 minutes. We'll talk through it, and then we'll probably have a little shutdown at the end and wrap it up, and we'll get you out of here by midnight or shortly after. So we're at least Central Time. Those of you watching on the East Coast, I welcome you, and those of you watching around the world, I welcome you. Folks will be dropping in from England and whatnot. That's how they do. I should say the UK. I don't mean to get anybody in trouble. I have to dust off soon because it's 4 a.m. here. Oh, thank you, Marty. I appreciate it. See what I mean? We have Thanks, folks Marty. All over the place. But it's nice of you to drop in and check it out with us. So Larry and I are both going to be watching this on Max. Once again, this is always the usual part up front where I point out it's great to own this on home video or home media, whether it's a Blu-ray, 4K, whatever, Laserdisc, Betamax. Where my beta heads at. So, are you all lined up and ready to roll there, sir?
Yes. Let's see. Oh, come on, man. It's like it said watch again, and then it's like it leaves me at the credits.
Yeah, where you were last time. It's like, no, start over. I'm at the HBO logo. My captions say fanfare plays.
Okay.
I would describe that's how I would describe the HBO open as fanfare.
Yeah.
Oh, also, before we get started, for those of you who've been keeping up with the adventures of my channel, I am obviously on the road. I don't decorate my home like a hotel room. I'm trapped in a major snowstorm that has then been followed up by a major ice age. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. So right now it is -9 outside. Last night we'd been having a streak of like the last 5 nights, I believe it was, of watching a movie late night. And last night's stream was canceled because power outage. So if at any point the stream freezes or whatever, one of us will try to hold it until we get back. But we have to acknowledge the inclement weather because it may end up appearing whether we want it to or not. Let's see. Our professor is ready for some voodoo magic, man. And Nanette and Jack's witching hours are here. Hello, Nanette and Jack, culture, health, and witchcraft. That's a lot, Nanette. Yeah, you're covering a lot there. Welcome. Glad to have you and Jack here.
All right. I think I got subtitles, descriptions on.
That's always key.
All right. I'm at HBO now. Fanfare plays.
Okay. Macabre says trapped in a snowstorm. That is perfect conditions against predators. They only come out on the hottest days after all.
Well, not necessarily. There was AVP.
AVP, right? The first one? Aren't they?
There was that first AVP, man. So you never know.
Guy is here. Hey, Caveman Movies and More. He says, be sure to hit the like button. We thank you for coming by. And Echo is here. And Screaming Cheerleader is still there. No, they left. Although last night I was planning on watching 30 Days of Night. And I had scheduled the stream and the electricity went out after midnight. And it just went pitch black in the hotel. And then you could, since there's no noise or nothing, you could every now and then just hear like a cheerleader whimpering, like, and it's like, it's sad, but at the same time, it's like, that's what they get for driving me nuts for 2 days. So welcome to my world.
You should have walked down the hallway and made like weird noises.
Well, at one point, I could hear them kind of stumbling out into the hallway looking for, like, each other. And I was
Signs of
going to,
life.
yeah, exactly. I thought about opening up the door and just being like, "Arr!" Actually, what did happen, though, I went down to the lobby to see what they knew. And the girl at the front desk was like, I saw someone in the room where the pool is. And I was like, I'll be right back. So, of course, I went into the dark room where the pool and the hot tub is. And I was like, hello, is anyone here? So I have tempted fate and lived through it. I am indestructible. No horror movie scenario can kill me.
Nice. Oh, by the way, Don, I will say, and this is not sponsored by these people, but for the occasion, I got a Night Owl.
I see that. That is a beautiful Night Owl lager, Elysian. I will be drinking a Newcastle ale. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, brother.
Missed Insomnia last night. Yeah, I was going to try Insomnia, and then I decided to go 30 Days of Night. I was trying to bridge the gap between Monsters and Cold, guy. So, yeah, I ended up getting blacked out. Let's see here. And it says hello. Marty says that in the Predator comic Cold War, but they got stranded in Russia. Ooh, I was unaware of that one. Have you read that one, Larry?
I haven't read that one. I need to. Marty's been, making me want to go and check out the comics and stuff like that. But yeah, he's been telling me a lot of good stuff.
Thank you for coming, Juan. We appreciate it, man.
Have a good night, brother. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping by.
Hell yeah, Macabro's going to release the Kraken. Attaboy. That's a perfect thing to do for this film. All right, so are you on the HBO logo and ready to roll, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go ahead and press play on this. All right, movie presentation. That's where I'm at too. All right, 20th Century Fox.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're lined up. Man says, "Thank you for the compliment, sir." Good night, Juan. Man, running the chat. That's why I love when she's there to hold it down. Ben Grin points out, yes, the Packers advanced. That was one of the questions of my local team was going to lose today, whether or not I would be a grumpy Gus for this collab. But turns out I get to be on the happy side of things. So cheers to my Packers.
Yeah,
We'll see next week when they play a real team. No offense to the Cowboys, but they've been sus for a while. All right, so we're in Los Angeles, 1997. The movie itself was made in, I believe, 1989. It came out in 90. So the fact that it takes place 7 years in the future, that's a weird time jump. Like they usually give you a couple decades, right? 7 years is pretty small. And it's 107 degrees.
Another day in Texas, man.
What's the weather like for you guys down there? No snow or anything?
No, it's no snow.
No.
We're 20. We're at 20 something right now. I think.
It is currently -7.
Wow.
So according to my phone, I didn't let it update though, and that's without the wind chill or anything. So we hear the street gangs fighting it out in the middle of urban warfare.
I like how when one of them gets it ricochets, you hear like saying she's like cussing live on the air.
Well, 7 years in the future, they look away on that. They're not as strict and puritanical as they were in 1990.
Yeah.
But this is pre-riots in LA though. So this is, because 92 would have been the big riots there, I believe. First the Rodney King and then the follow-up riots with the OJ stuff. So all this ends up kind of being half prophetic.
Yeah, it's like art imitating life, right?
Yeah. A lot of
foreshadowing.
Yeah. Well, I find a lot of science fiction movies have creepy and weird foreshadowing or predicting or whatever, like we always talk about RoboCop with them, predicting Detroit was going to go bankrupt and the whole issues with the Mexican border and all this stuff that RoboCop was just way ahead of,
Mm-hmm.
private police forces and stuff. In 1988 or whatever, private police force sound ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, there's also what's that other one? Oh, hey, Cal, how's it going, man?
My aunt says she's watching and listening, but she's a bit busy. That's okay. I understand. You got children to chase around.
You got little ones, yeah.
Finally scored the 2-disc collector's edition DVD of Predator 2. Been hunting myself at a claim sale. Just got wait for it to ship. Nice. I appreciate it. Macabro knows what's up. So there's Tony Pope, Morton Downey Jr. Are you familiar with Morton Downey Jr. from when you were a kid? Was he a thing or?
No, I just knew him from this movie as a kid. I feel like he's that guy that he's another one of those guys that just shows up everywhere, random stuff.
He was at a WrestleMania. I think Roddy Piper maybe sprayed him in the face with a fire extinguisher because he refused to stop smoking. Morton Downey Jr. was a talk show host. He was kind of the predecessor to Jerry Springer, who a lot of people don't know anymore. But basically, it was just trash TV where they would have people on. It was very questionable whether or not it was real or not. They would bring folks in. You would think maybe they were just there acting.
It was an edgier Geraldo.
Yeah, it and Geraldo were basically going head to head, and then I think Ricky Lake ended up kind of winning that war. Cal Aldea is here, Owls and Cats, my man. Hey, man, and Echo. It's nice to see everybody here. Has RoboCop fought a Predator? I know Batman, Wolverine, Archie Witchblade, and Judge Dredd all have, but I don't know if RoboCop has.
That I'm not too sure. Predators have fought Terminators, though.
That makes sense.
Yeah, fought Terminators. RoboCop, I don't recall. I know Terminator has fought RoboCop. That I do know.
Oh, let's see.
Hey, Sarah, how's it going? Thanks for coming by.
All sorts of RoboCop versus Predator fanfics in a game. Gaming Bible, RoboCop versus Predator game released. You can play it free right now.
Yeah, Ben, he did fight Archie.
Yeah, it's a crappy one.
He did Archie too. Ben just reminded me of that one.
Yeah, well, that's a fair matchup. You want to try to find two equally weighted opponents to have a fight. So Archie and the Predator is only natural. Guy points out Phil Donahue. Yes, he was also in that. Yeah, because basically Oprah Winfrey had locked down the serious journalism of daytime talking, and everybody else just settled for trash TV. So Morton Downey Jr. had his hand in the mix there. Predator fought Robo and Bats.
Okay.
Archie fought the Predator. Oh, beautiful Queen Sarah Campbell. Thank you, Sarah, for coming. It's nice to have you here. Sarah's so I'm usually up way too late for Sarah. So it's nice to have you here. This is a 10 p.m. Central start for me. Most of my streams usually start well after midnight, sometimes 1 or 2 in the morning.
Sorry, man.
It's okay. So that's what I mean. The 10 p.m. start as an early start is kind of comical for me. The Transformers fought the Terminators. And probably one of the Mortal Kombat games, maybe. Yeah, that could be a thing too. The RoboCop versus the Predator. Predator versus Victor Crowley. That would be interesting.
Oh, nice. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, Maury.
Led to Maury, You're Not the Father. Yeah, see, guy knows what's up. Yeah, it's they do these trash TV shows, and Morton Downey is kind of an early predecessor of them. No relation to Robert Downey Jr.
I was going to say, are they like the second uncle or something?
I think it might be. Actually, I think there might be like a distant relationship, but Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Downey Sr. Robert Downey Sr. I'm not all that familiar with. I believe he was an actor.
Oh, man. We got Scorpio. Well, this guy comes out and everything. He's a henchman #1 in like a lot of movies.
They both have a father with the same name, Robert and Morton, but they are not closely related to the best of someone's knowledge. So whoever answered that for me on the internet says no. Thank you. Let's see here. Sacred Shame Time. I used to watch the guy that would do the "You Are Not the Father" thing. Yeah, Professor's admitting he watched Maury.
Hey man, I watched it too. I'm not afraid to admit it. It's interesting too. You even have the captain from Lethal Weapon in this movie too.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem with how it got early. I don't know, shunned or whatever. It got early bad reviews, and then it kind of grew into a cult audience. Is I think it's such a departure from the original Predator that people don't totally recognize it, and then the fact that it's like almost a police procedural, but a futuristic police procedural, but only 7 years in the future, and like I think there's just a lot of weird things. The cast itself has a lot of, I don't know. It's such a different cast from the Commandos in the first one, or the soldiers, I guess you would know them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like this one, the ensemble cast is a lot more grounded.
Yeah,
you know, they're not all big, muscly. They're like not the biggest men in the world. Killing everything and stuff like that. I think that's what makes this a little bit more. I don't know. I to me, it's opposite. It's like how now they're in the city setting. Well, it makes sense to have these type of people in a city setting as cops and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well, and they're the original Predator cast, they're all just kind of badasses, right? They're all just killing machines. And I even confuse two of the characters or mix them together in my brain. The Shane Black character and then the other guy who looks just like him. They're like the exact same guy. There's no reason for it to be two guys. Yeah. Like they're it's not necessary. But here, Danny Glover is very distinguishable from Gary Busey, Bill Paxton, Maria Conchita, Ruben Blades. They're all individual people that, there's no mixing them up. So there's the infrared vision with him falling off a building. That's a nice fall. 3 different cuts, though, to drag it out.
And I like the fact that it shows you that he's like afraid of heights,
That would be 11 Central, May. That's hardly Night Owl. Man would like me to start streaming at 12 p.m. Eastern, but that's far too. I'm not accommodating my late nights. Maybe if I did a double feature, maybe if I started it at 11 Central and then maybe did another one after that. But other than that, yeah, no, I have to accommodate my middle of the night people. That's what I'm here for. Is the folks who are in bed at 2 a.m. like, damn it, nothing's going on. Oh, Don's up talking about movies.
One of these days, man, we'll do a double feature so I can be on there with those.
You can stay all night for me. All right. Ben says Morton Downey Jr. had a great Tales from the Crypt episode where he does a news report from a haunted house. I do remember that. That was kind of half mocking the Geraldo's vault kind of thing. Like, they send a guy in on this big report, and he's supposed to be, this hot crap kind of a reporter guy. But it's. I remember that. That's actually a good call, man. That's a good pull. I wonder what else Morton Downey Jr.'s been in. I like this from day one watching it. More Predator with cooler weapons, Maria Conchita, and again, my young brain played like Lethal Weapon versus Predator, so I was sold. Yeah, that's a good way of describing. I think a lot of people make the Lethal Weapon connection because of Danny Glover. But
we just needed Riggs to pop up somewhere. Now, see this guy that's on the floor. What I was gonna point out, like he grabs a gun like when they're all loading up. He grabs a gun that looks like the gun from RoboCop, that big, like from the first RoboCop, that one that shoots those explosive rounds or whatever. I was gonna point it out, and I'd be like, "So are these in the same universe?"
Yeah, they very well could be. I mean, or maybe the same prop department.
Yeah, for sure. I want some realistic, like cooler, futuristic-looking weapons. RoboCop, here's this gun. Okay, yeah, we'll take it.
Okay, so Danny Glover has 197 credits, and he has 7 upcoming releases. So he'll be well over 204 here anytime soon, or well over 200, I should say. Let me see.
He was nice. I got to meet him one time at a con. He was really cool.
His first film was in 1979. He first appeared on BJ and the Bear. Attaboy. He was in Escape from Alcatraz. I was unaware. Lou Grant, Greatest American Hero, Choo Choo and the Philly Flash, Hill Street Blues, Give Me a Break, Places in the Heart, Witness. Yeah, I believe he's a bad guy in Witness, right?
The Witness?
Pardon?
Is it Witness that he's a bad guy? There's another movie there.
Yeah, I believe in Witness he's the bad guy.
Where the twist, he's the bad guy.
Let's see, he's in Silverado. He's in The Color Purple. He's a bad guy in The Color Purple. I remember that. Let me see. Lethal Weapon. He's in Tall Tales and Legends. He played John Henry. That's interesting. Lethal Weapon. He was in the Mandela movie. Lonesome Dove, Dead Man Out, Saturday Night Live, Lethal Weapon 2, Predator 2, Flight of the Intruder, or Rage in Harlem, MC Hammer Too Legit to Quit music video.
He was in that?
That's what it says here. Grand Canyon, Lethal Weapon 3, Maverick as a bank robber, uncredited. That's funny because he worked with Mel Gibson then again.
Wow.
Operation Dumbo Drop. Fallen Angels, Harriet the Spy, Gone Fishing. There's a classic bad one. Switchback. I believe that's the one you're thinking of where he's the bad guy, right?
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking.
It's like a serial killer movie. Spoiler. Yeah, I think we just ruined that for people, but I do recall that one. Switchback was good. The Rainmaker. He plays a judge. Buffalo Soldiers, Lethal Weapon 4. He voiced Ants.
Were there any Angels on the Outfield also?
We're getting to it. The Monster, Freedom Song, 3 a.m., The Royal Tenenbaums, Earthsea, Missing in America.
Tenenbaums. That was a good one.
Barnyard, Dreamgirls, Shooter, Be Kind, Rewind.
Shooter, the Marky Mark one?
Yeah, he plays Colonel Isaac Johnson. He was in My Name and Earl. He was in Night Train. He was in 2012 as President Thomas Wilson. So he's the president in 2012. And only 15 short years from this movie, he becomes president. Legendary with John Cena. I'm Still Here with, what's his name? Act of Vengeance, Son of Morning, Leverage, Donovan's Echo, a lot of low budget stuff lately. The Way Back.
I will say I like how the captain in this, he went from being a criminal in The Goonies to being an FBI agent in Die Hard, and then now he's a captain in LA. So he turned his life around after Goonies.
That's good. I'm glad that he got his stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
Here we see a kind of futuristic cityscape, but it's still all graffitied up, and they're watching on the news the shooting in the street.
Man, it's just like you see all these like extras in this police station. It's crazy.
Yeah, in this tight little confined area. But look at the monitors. They're supposed to be like futuristic. Uh-huh. They all look like kind of Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this scene right here, this tracking shot where we've seen maybe like 100 extras, and they're all just like, yeah, the big headbutt. Now, is that Rocksteady or Bebop? And there's Bill Paxton. Look at him. We just saw 100 people, and as soon as they get to Bill Paxton, he like steals the frame.
Oh yeah,
you know,
that's the power of Bill Paxton, man.
He reeks of star power, that guy.
Cheers to Bill Paxton.
Oh, Bill! Cheers indeed. I'd like to butter your muffin. Let's see here. Let's bring up Bill Paxton and get his IMDb ready. We'll have a talk about some of the films he's been in here in a second. Man, I like that everybody's just so like sweaty and dirty. Like they're trying to show how the environment is changing to make it for the predators, you know. And here's Busey. Sure. Speaking of star power, here's Busey. Cheers to Busey.
Right. Keys.
I'm sorry for this jurisdictional intrusion. What are the likelihood that he punched someone on this set at some point, Gary Busey? Or at least did cocaine off someone's butt? One or the other.
That's very... There's a scene later where I could see that's probably why this part that happened in that scene is because like Danny Glover was like, yeah, I better not do this. Because it always threw me off like in the scene, and we'll talk about it later when it comes up. But yeah, Busey, man, he was full on nuts in this one.
He's a juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get back to the chat here. Guy says Springer always had train wreck, either revealing guys' fiancés or actual dude, or cheating with their wife and wife's sister. Yeah, the Springer was the pinnacle of bad TV.
I will say this though, for Springer had frontman typo negative Peter Steele on there one time.
So, oh yeah, I saw him on there.
So I'll give him that.
Yeah, that clip for some reason always gets fed into my Instagram feed of like him on there, and he's like, you know, how are you today? And he's like, less miserable than usual. That's my Peter Steele. There you go. He's a villain in The Rage of Harlem. Yeah, exactly.
Peter Steele was?
Yep. He would be the perfect villain for The Rage of Harlem. Who's this big, tall, white guy with his crazy hair looking like the villain from Blade?
Right.
Or from Crow. Grand Canyon is a great underrated movie. I enjoy it. That one's divisive. Some people don't like it. Some people love it. It's kind of schmaltzy and interpersonal. It's a character study movie. Did you ever see Grand Canyon?
I don't think so.
Kevin Kline and maybe Steve Martin, I think. But it's just a character ensemble movie about like learning to. It's a lot like Crash, that movie with Sandra Bullock, not the one about the people who get off on car crashes. I only remember Glover from this, Lethal Weapon, and the Lethal Weapon series, and the first Saw. Yeah, the first Saw. I think when he turns up in that, he really kind of gives it a lot of credibility. Mr. Dan, welcome, Mr. Dan.
Mr. Dan, how's it going, sir?
He was also the Martin movie called Pure Luck. Yeah, I do remember Pure Luck. That was a wild ride too. Be Kind, Rewind. Yeah, that was.
That was a good one. The Swede edition.
Yeah,
I remember when that became a thing, like out there early social media. Swede edition.
Two Boys and a Scary Pops. Welcome. Bill Paxton, Alien Predator franchise for that guy. Yeah, exactly. The double up, both Alien and Predator.
And Terminator.
You're right. There you go. So and True Lies. I'll just throw that in for no fun. But Bill Paxton, anything he's in, as soon as he shows up, I mean.
Oh yeah, man. You know he's having a great old time at whatever he's doing.
Yeah, Sarah says Bill was a treasure. Bill Paxton from the Pat Benatar video? Loved him in Tombstone. Yeah.
That's another great. That's probably one of my favorite westerns. Well, it is one of my favorite westerns, at least in my top, my top three. Number one is Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah, it's right there. It and Good, Bad, the Ugly. Once Upon a Time in the West might be my favorite. I don't know. I'd have to go through and watch them all. I'd have to watch all the westerns to let you know. Have you seen the Gary Busey interview? On a set of this, he sounds like he lost his damn mind after the bike accident he did.
Oh, he did lose his mind.
Yeah, that's why I kind of was wondering like how much trouble he was on this set, because this was peak Busey at Busey dumb. Like,
well, let's not forget Point Break.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking. This is around the same time as Point Break, within like 5 years or whatever. Busey got arrested the next town over from me at a convention. That's that a Busey. There he goes.
Okay, folks. So if there are children in the room, this scene you might want to cover their eyes.
Well, it's natural and healthy. It's Frailty, Apollo 13, and Gotta Say Twister. Let's run through the
Frailty's
Bill
good. Frailty's good.
Let's run through the Bill Paxton. Why are you giving me his trivia? No, I want his IMDb. What are you doing to me?
I could pay you.
What? Bill Paxton was in Stripes? I didn't know that. Let me see here.
Stripes is a great one.
Yes, it is.
Where's the Winnebago?
His first one was Crazy Mama. He was in Stripes. He played soldier number 8. So he's probably in like that part where they're all doing like the platoon stuff to graduate. He's probably a shot in there. Lords of Discipline, Mortuary, Streets of Fire. Streets of Fire is a good one. And he did Streets of Fire and The Terminator in the same year. And then the next year he did Weird Science and Commando. Nice. Aliens, Near Dark, Next of Kin, Brain Dead, Navy SEALs, Predator 2, The Vagrant, Trespass. Did you ever see Trespass? That's actually kind of a weird, underrated classic.
I haven't seen that one.
Ice-T and Ice Cube, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of like Judgment Night. Some suburban dipshits get caught in a situation they shouldn't be with some gangsters.
I think I've heard of it then.
It's pretty good.
I haven't seen it though.
Boxing Helena, Indian Summer, Tombstone, Future Shock, True Lies, Apollo 13, Last Supper, Frank and Jesse, Twister, The Evening Star, which was the sequel to Terms of Endearment, Traveler, Titanic, A Simple Plan, Mighty Joe Young. I believe he's the star of that. Besides Mighty Joe Young, obviously. U-571, Vertical Limit, Frailty, Spy Kids 2, Ghosts of the Abyss, Spy Kids 3D Game Over, Club Dread, Thunderbirds. It's just hit after hit. Two Guns, Edge of Tomorrow. I forgot he was in Edge of Tomorrow. Nightcrawler. The Circle. What else? Then a bunch of television and music videos. He was in the video for Fish Heads, the classic Fish Heads, roly-poly fish heads. It says he was main character, also director.
Huh.
I don't know what that means. He was in Eat You Alive, the Limp Bizkit video. He also voiced Call of Duty, and he's in the theme park attraction Twister, Ride It Out. So good for him. That Bill Paxton, he be working.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like he's never phoned it in, man.
No, that's what I mean. Every time he comes on, he's just kind of a silly, goofy white guy, but he just steals the scene. He's always funny and big, but he's not so big he's chewing up the scenery.
Yeah. Because I remember even as a kid watching Aliens, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, I like this guy. And then when he was gone, I was like, oh, man, they killed Hudson.
And he should be terrible in Aliens. Like, we should all hate him. But no, he's hilarious and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Elevator straight to hell, man. Frailty was amazing. He directed.
Frailty's good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. Frailty is up there. We discussed subversive movies the other night, movies that some folks are maybe just a little you don't feel comfortable with some folks watching. And The Dead Zone, V for Vendetta, and then I would put Frailty in that list. You're like, if someone's not mentally right, they might not, Frailty may not be the movie for them. Busey was in news for pulling his pants down in the public. Yeah, that Busey.
Oh, that Busey.
Macabro also mentions Bone Tomahawk as a great Western. Yeah, I love me some Bone Tomahawk.
That's an intense one, man. I barely saw that. I want to say last year or the year before. My buddy Joe would always tell me about that movie. You got to watch that movie. And I finally saw it and I was like, dude.
I feel like Bone Tomahawk, the Native American tribe or whatever they're supposed to be, the monsters, they're kind of a ripoff of the Predator. Like the whole thing where they put like a thing in their throat and they're sort of like these like half cannibalistic monster things. They're hunting people and using them for food and all this.
Mm-hmm.
So here we're in the
I can see
apartment.
that.
Everybody's in the apartment. They're all dead and hanging upside down and being drained out, just like how they were in the jungle in the first one.
I don't understand what he's doing here when he's like got that little box against the wall. I don't understand that. I never understood that.
Yeah. But that's 1997 future technology. So it's probably beyond our simple 1990 minds. We can't comprehend. It's 7 years in the future, bro.
Yeah. Then in the far distant future of 1997.
Yeah, exactly. Two Boys in Scare. Pop Eric says, yeah, it was good. Has to see Bone Tomahawk. Now they're discussing what a great actor or a director Bill Pullman is, or Bill Paxton is. Bill Pullman too might be. I don't know. Give him a chance. Let's see here. He was such a good villain in Vertical Limit. Actually, Vertical Limit I've never seen. I need to check.
I've never seen that one. That's the one with Chris O'Donnell, right?
Yeah, I believe so. It's like a scaling a mountain or whatever, climbing a mountain movie. Another good snowed in one. I also got some 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas from Bone Tomahawk. They also hunt some cannibals, but Vikings instead. Yeah, I heard 13th Warrior was good. I never saw that, actually.
Yeah, I never saw that one either.
Let's see. Busey was in Silver Bullet. Yeah, he's very good in Silver Bullet. That's one of his more likable roles, I think.
Pre motorcycle accident, right?
Yeah. It's weird. I always think of these actors as being like everybody in this movie is perpetually 40. Like Gary Busey, Danny Glover, Ruben Blades. In my mind, they're 40 for like 30 years. So it's weird to see all of them very young,
Well, I mean, you see this one. I mean, it's like Danny Glover. I mean, you saw him earlier without the shirt. He looked like he bulked up for this movie.
Yeah. I wonder if there he's looking kind of big. I wonder if he was kind of getting thicked up to play the Lethal Weapon roles and do some other action stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, I felt he was kind of schlubby in Lethal Weapon 1 and 2, right?
Yeah. Well, especially Lethal Weapon's 87 or 88, so that's a couple years before this, and they're doing the gray hair thing and stuff. But here he's got jet black hair, and I think they're trying to young him up.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Dan, do you have a good night, my friend? Sleep well. Thank you for joining us. Futuristic minivans and the Get Shorty Cadillac of minivans. I love that. Get Shorty is another classic one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, Ruben Blades just stealing the scene. He's another guy with big star power. Just when he's on screen, you feel like he's important.
Yeah, he's intense. Brings that intensity, man. A few words.
He's real. Like Ruben Blades always feels like a real guy. Like there's no part of it like, oh, he's playing the role of this. It's like, no, he's just kind of Ruben Blades and whatever they need Ruben Blades to go do. But he always feels real. Like there's no acting. I don't feel like with Ruben Blades. He's good.
Well, that's what I'm saying with this whole cast is like more grounded. Even Maria Conchita Alonso. The only time I ever felt like she was a little bit over the top was Running Man.
Yeah. Well, I think we discussed when we watched Predator. For those of you who are a fan of the original Predator, Larry and I watched that regionally on my channel, so you can find a replay of that in the live stream section. And that's why we're watching Predator 2 tonight to follow that up, and eventually maybe we'll do them all, my friend. But in that, I believe at one point we discussed the woman in that. It felt like maybe they wanted Maria Conchita at first, and then they settled for somebody else. But she's so good in this, she would have been wasted in Predator.
Yeah, I think she would have been too much. I think I said it then. I think she would have been too much of a big name like
Yeah.
too recognizable in that one. Whereas here, it's like a good role for her, I think.
Well, yeah, I think that character in the first one kind of helped influence her needing to be here. But then I also think that character helped influence the one in Prey, the woman in Prey. Like part of the Predator mythos is that a badass woman can sort of hang with it. Like, I don't know, when you're a little too muscles and guns, the Predator is going to kill you. But if you're a little bit more brains, you have a chance.
Well, that's how Schwarzenegger beats the Predator. Guns, nothing, none of that. He just did Boy Scout stuff, as Dylan tells him.
Well, that's the thing. He had to get rid of all of his advancements. He had to go to mud and had to cut back on his weapons. What's crazy is Patrick Swayze never had the lead role for this film, declined as he was working on another motion picture. That I was not aware of. That's a good casting. What if?
Yeah, that's crazy.
What do you think? He was going to play the Swayze or the Glover role, or do you think? Or do you think he was going to play the Bill Paxton role?
No, I'm sure he would have played at this point in his career. I think he would have easily played the Danny Glover role.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Nanette says yes, she loved the 13th Warrior. Outsmart him. DVD Wars stuck in DVD purgatory, not streaming on any platform. Sadly, as it's on Look Movie. I was unaware of that. Yeah, that happens. That's one of the themes we talk about here on this channel. Is we live in this like pick and choose a la carte streaming world where like we just think everything's a buffet and it's all out there, and then you actually go looking for something like Tombstone we mentioned earlier. That's one I had trouble finding and I had to have on DVD, and same with The Shining the other night, and you and I ran into an issue with The Dead Zone back before Halloween. Like a lot of these movies are on streaming and then they get pulled and moved to a different channel, or they're in limbo and not on any channel.
Yeah, like the other night when I did the Fog with Jason the Nice One, it's not anywhere to stream.
Yeah. Well, I believe when you and I watched it, Larry and I also did a watch along of The Fog that's available on my channel. When you and I watched it, didn't it say like leaving in 2 days or something? And there was a countdown to it on Amazon Prime when you and I watched it.
Yeah, but even after that, like I saw it on it was on Tubi, I think. Like after that, like it was still streaming like other places. Like after that, so that's why when I went to go, I was like, oh, it's streaming over here. I mean, I looked everywhere. I mean, I looked at my Shutter, I looked at Screenbox, it was in anywhere. Amazon Prime, you can rent it, but I mean, I had the Blu-ray, so I just popped on the Blu-ray, and it's fine.
Yeah,
minor inconvenience.
Yeah, I actually had to get up and take a box off a shelf and put the disc in a player. It's a miracle I didn't pull my shoulder out.
Felt like my knee was giving out from having to get up off the couch and do that.
Erica says he loves the Predator's weapons.
Oh yeah.
You're a bit of a Predator weapon expert with all the Predator NECA figures and all the various toys and everything. What do you like? What accessories and weapons do you dig out of the Lost Tribe and all the Predators and stuff?
It seems like I recently did a discussion with Martin, who was here earlier, and I seem to really dig the melee weapons. I like the hand-to-hand combat stuff. The combi sticks, they're okay. I feel like they overdid them. I like the smart discs, and then AVP they introduced the shurikens, which I really, really dig those weapons because you can use it as a melee weapon and throwing star and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I like a lot of the melee weapons. There's this other Predator that I haven't reviewed yet that has this big old like battle axe. So at some point I'll get to him, and you'll see what I mean. He has like a mace, or not a mace. He has like a Morning Star thing, and then he has like a big old battle axe. So yeah, I'll get to him eventually. But he's a part of the Lost Tribe. He specializes in melee weapons. But
well, now we've gotten to a B movie all-star, another one. Robert Davi has showed up. For those of you not familiar with the work of Robert Davi, he has 163 credits, and he has 9 movies getting ready to come out.
Wow.
Yeah, that Robert Davi, he don't mess around. He first began acting in 1977. He did Charlie's Angels, Lou Grant, Incredible Hulk, Barnaby Jones, Trapper John, Rage, Alcatraz, Gangster Wars, Dynasty, Hill Street Blues. He was the 80s TV All-Star, TJ Hooker, Heart to Heart, Fall Guy, A-Team. But he's in Goonies. He played Jake. That's where I think most of us know him from our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Action Jackson as Tony Moretti. He's in Die Hard as Big Johnson. So, which makes me laugh. I didn't realize his name was Big Johnson. I knew he was a Johnson. I didn't realize he was the bigger of the two Johnsons.
The other one.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's Johnson. No, the other one. Peacemaker, Maniac Cop 2 as Detective Sean McKinney, Predator 2, Maniac Cop 3, Son of Pink Panther, Cops and Robertsons, Showgirls, yes, An Occasional Hell.
So here comes that scene, man. Look right here. Sorry to cut you off. You see that?
Oh, no.
You see that where he didn't slap him. He just like slapped his hand.
Yeah.
That always threw me off. Like, why did he do that? Like, why didn't he just I don't know. That was just kind of weird to, he does a slap in front of his face. That's why I'm saying, like, off screen, he was afraid that Busey was going to like slash his tires or something, or, probably punch him in real life.
I can see that. Yeah. I wouldn't want to, I would feel uncomfortable about having to wrestle around with Busey.
I don't know. Sorry to cut you off, man. It's just I had to point it out because that always got me every time I watch that scene.
Well, I've seen that scene before, but I kind of never really thought much about it. Now they show the Reuben Blades. One good cop is gone.
Thanks, Pope.
What else? Robert Davi been in that we all know? Lots of video games. I didn't realize he'd been doing so much video game work. It makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of TV. Expendables 3. There you go.
I barely remember that movie because it was so bad.
Yeah, I kind of tapped out after part 2 on the Expendables series. I don't think I remember much more after that.
I actually really liked part 2. Van Damme, man. I think he steals the show in that movie.
Let me see here.
Except for his bad plastic surgery.
It is. Predator 2 is rated on Rotten Tomatoes. 30% critics, 44% audience. So both are considered bad. Critics' consensus is the thrill of the hunt is gone in this hackneyed sequel. So the critics, in my opinion, got that one wrong. I've pointed out several films where the critics section of IMDb has not worked. Let me see here. Let me see if 13th Warrior is streaming. That'd be a watch along for the future. Either V for Vendetta. Yeah, V for Vendetta is a good one for sure. In the lead role, Declining was working on a picture. And Hobbs is here. Is that what Bones said earlier? Let me see. Agent Johnson and Johnson. LOL. Hobbs bringing the knowledge. Welcome, Hobbs, by the way. I forgot to say hello. Hopefully everyone skipped the Affordables 4. Clicking noise Predator makes was from Peter Cullen.
Yep. That one I did know. And also they don't after this one they don't do they never do that anymore. The noise
thing. They don't do that anymore.
Like that, I didn't even realize that until I was watching some video on YouTube about Predators, and they pointed it out, and I was like, wow, you know what? I've never heard that, because the Predator, it's like it's a way for them to like communicate actually. And yeah, I realized like, wow, you never hear that in, because I watched Predators, like I think it was like last summer again. I went kind of like back to watch them again, and yeah, I couldn't get through the Predator. I just couldn't. It's just so bad. But
Yeah, the Predator. Like I say, you and I may eventually try to clip all of these off so we do the whole set. But the Predator or Predator or whatever is it the Predator? That's
the Predator.
Yeah, and then the original Schwarzenegger is just Predator, right?
Predator, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, the Predator is just brutal. Predators, I actually kind of rather enjoyed. It was, an interesting ride. It was something to do, but the Predator with the Tourette syndrome or whatever the hell's going on, and autistic people being the future of the world and all this, like there's a lot of disjointed stuff going on in that idea.
Well, there's a lot of interesting behind the scenes stuff going on too. Like apparently, what I didn't know, there was Praise Good, Caveman. Really dig that one.
Welcome,
hey, Katie. How's it going?
We love to have Pop in the Popcorn here. Thank you for dropping by. A friend of the show, and both I believe she both jumped you and I into streaming. Or was she your first streaming partner, or was I your first and then her?
You were,
that's
man.
Okay, that's what I thought. But she was number 2. So there you go. So yeah, we you and I both big fans of Katie popping the popcorn. She's a
well, we got to watch Puppet Master. Her first time watching Puppet Master.
Yeah, you and I were on her channel watching Puppet Master. So if you're a fan of that series, be sure to drop by her page. Otherwise, on my page, there's a tab of collaborations. I'm sure it's in there. But be sure to check out and give our friend Katie popping the popcorn a view and subscribe and a big hug.
Yeah, yeah, man, it's just bad. Like that the Predator. Apparently, there was like a whole different subplot. I think it's called the Stargazer version or whatever. I actually got a lot of this information from Marty. I had heard of like a different cut of it or whatever, and there was like photos online of like a Predator with a machine gun and stuff like that. Yeah, there apparently in the Stargazer version, there's like apparently 2 other Predators that are working with the humans, and they're part of like the government, and they were gonna like help to fight against the other Predators that come down or whatever. And there's a whole thing to it, and it's interesting. Like even in the original trailer, you'll see them in a tank during daylight with like a big old machine gun, like firing not the Predator, but one of the guys, the army guys.
I've seen that. Like there's like an alliance between the Predators and the human soldiers, and like there's a part where there's a Predator riding on a tank, like with them. I've seen the deleted scenes. And I know the Predator had some sort of issue with one of the actors was accused of being a creep, and that what's her name didn't want to be in it anymore. Olivia Munn was going to drop out, so they had to fire dude. So it seemed to me that whole set and that shooting environment and all of it was just bad.
Yeah, I mean, they should have gotten rid of Olivia Munn along with the guy. I mean, she's a horrible actress.
Now here's King Willie. In my opinion. He's King Willie's here now. He's played by Calvin Lockhart. My entire life, I thought this was comedian Paul Mooney. Later on, I realized it was totally somewhere else. So I'm coming out of my racist closet right now in front of everyone that the dude looks too much like Paul Mooney for me. I didn't know who it was. Eric says, it would have been nice if they could have paid Arnold for part 2. I would have liked a second Arnold in another Predator movie, but that's kind of what we were discussing. Is they managed to make this work? It's a different stew and a different flavor altogether, but somehow it works.
Well, that's the other thing too. Apparently, he was going to make a cameo in The Predator.
Thank you, Eric, or Guy. I'm sorry. I thought, wasn't there some sort of, oh goodness, one of the characters in this was going to be Arnold's brother or is Arnold's brother or something to do with that. There was some sort of connection to Arnold in this, and then they eventually wrote it out because of the Danny Glover stuff. But
yeah, so there's a they did it in a comic.
Okay.
In Concrete Jungle, it's his brother is the cop.
Okay.
And he's
that's kind of what I thought was the deal, is that his Arnold's brother was an LA cop, and then it started, the terraforming thing started happening where they make it hot and the predators can come live.
I love the scene, man. Like how he's just walking in the water, and it's just like you see that's a really good shot. And then the first reveal you see like on the reflection on the water too.
This movie has some amazing visual effects and then a couple of really bad ones. Like at the end, when the Lost Tribe shows up and they're walking through the fog and like in the ground, they look like they cut them or something. Like they clipped the bottom of this. The
compositing is not that good.
Yeah, they cropped the composite is what it looks like, and it doesn't fit right. But then there's other shots that are so good, like the one you just mentioned with the invisible predator walking through the water, and then you can see the electricity and stuff. Like, oh, that's way cool. I feel like this also, when it's in the woods, the jungle, it's more of a most dangerous game kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now that they're in the cityscape, this feels more like horror movie-ish. Like it feels like he's picking them off, and there's more like suspense of the predator's going to get you, man. Like,
did you notice that in that scene? They cut the scene.
The skull scene?
Yeah. Because you're supposed they didn't show the whole like trophy wall. You didn't see the xenomorph head.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that. I for sure saw the skull and the pullback. Is there maybe a cutback to it or something?
No. Oh no, I think they do. They show later when Glover's in the ship. I think he sees the trophy wall. But you should have seen that was like the first reveal. I feel like they cut that. That's weird. I never realized that. I wonder if it's like just an alternate cut or something, or maybe I'm Mandela effect. I'm remembering wrong, and I'm thinking of the later scene.
That's what I was wondering. It's like, you know what? I don't remember when they show the head, so I couldn't say yes or no. But a lot of times they do sort of rejumble these movies for second presentations.
And that was originally just a gag too. Like they were just the director writers. They just threw it in there as like a quick Easter egg. It wasn't supposed to like be anything more than that. And then like because of that, they're like, well, let's just throw it in there. Let's start doing Alien vs. Predator comics. Like Dark Horse kind of ran with it, and yeah, it became a thing just because of that one little thing.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. It's a natural fit. You know what I mean? The predators go around the universe hunting things that are really impressive to kill, and what's harder to kill than a xenomorph, you know, and they're going around the universe finding these things. They're going to bump into them sometime. There was an ad for Delta to Texas. So they want, and there's an owl. So it's all coming together for me and you here. This is one we're supposed to watch. Wow. Did you get a sale on that suit, Danny? It's like 4 sizes too big.
I know, right?
90s clothes need to come back in fashion. Everybody looks skinny.
He went to Burlington.
Yeah, he did. Burlington Coat Factory, the home of Burlington, Wisconsin, is about like 5 minutes away from where I'm sitting. 10. So once again, bring it all together.
They're not sponsoring this, by the way.
No, they're not. And if they did, send me and Larry 2 giant oversized suits.
I'll take it. I want the hat too.
So this is another super cool with him being invisible and talking to the little kid, and then almost killing the little kid because he's got the fake gun. That's a good, around this time, there was an issue with police shooting kids who had fake guns because the fake guns looked so real. So they made a law that the guns either had to have an orange tip or had to be completely changed, like a lime green or something that you could tell it's not an actual gun. So the little kid has a red plastic gun, but the predator sees in thermal vision. So he can't tell that it's not a real gun until he gets up close. Good timely humor for 1990.
Right. And the other thing too with this Predator, like, you know how this scene where he finds a necklace like dangling right now? It's like, so apparently this Predator, like in the I guess in the novelization or in the back, the lore, is this Predator is more of a showboat. He's more of a because he just goes out and starts killing everybody, and he's like toying. He's toying with Danny Glover, obviously, by putting that thing there, and so yeah, that's a little Easter egg there for you. Is like this Predator that differentiates him from the Jungle Hunter Predator. Is that this one he was like more of a cocky, more of like a show off, sort of a playing with his prey, if you want to look at it like that. And he would just like pretty much kill almost like just everybody, minus obviously the kid right now, he doesn't kill him because he realizes it's not a real weapon. And then even later with Maria Conchita with I don't want to give it away, but we're coming up to it. But yeah, that's just like a little Easter egg for everybody. Is that this Predator was more of a showboat. That's why like he reveals himself a lot more when he's killing everybody.
He's the hot dog show off of the Predator clan.
Right.
Look at the gang of street toughs hassling people on the LA subway.
No need for that.
And now this is an allusion to a guy. Oh God, what was his name? God, I'm drawing a blank. There was a guy in New York, and it was a big case. It was some dude who was hassled on the subway, and it was around this time. And he pulled out a gun and shot his attackers on the subway. But it was in New York, like I said. So it was this big deal in the newspapers around this time, and like, the CNN and all that, of how much are people allowed to actually defend themselves? Like, did the guy who killed the subway muggers, was he a bad guy? God, I'm trying to blank on that dude's name. But of course, they're working that into. There were, like I said, with the plastic gun, and now with this scene, they're touching on a lot of things that were going on in the era.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, man, it's the social commentary, It wasn't, and it was done well, and in my opinion, it's not. I don't feel like it's like force feeding you like most movies. A lot of movies, not most, but a lot of movies do now, where they kind of like just hammer it home with stuff.
Okay, that was his name. Bernard Getz was Bernie Getz. If you just Google Subway Vigilante, it's the first thing that comes up, because he was apparently charged with in 1984. He was dubbed the Subway Vigilante because he shot some people who were trying to mug him on a plane or on a train. So I think they were kind of making a Bernard Getz joke there. But this stuff in the dark is just great with the flashing lights. You can only see snippets of what's going on.
Yeah, and then you see the thermal vision of like just like even those, man, you don't see what's going on, but it's showing you, but it's not showing you, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, this all feels like a horror movie. Well, it feels like Aliens is what with the strobing lights and Bill Paxton, but it also feels like a horror movie. Just the clips of like a claw or the teeth, or you know what I mean? Like it, just little flashes of what the hell was that, and then you see like blood splatter on the wall or whatever.
So I wanted to go with a dessert on the next one. So feeling some.
Ooh, cookies, and look at you! I never had a cookie flavored beer before.
Cookie dough inspired stout. So
wow,
I'm not giving the name because we are not sponsored by them. So
Yeah, if the cookie dough people would like to send us some cookie dough beer and a giant suit, you let us know.
It's pretty good. It almost tastes like chocolate chips.
That's an interesting flavor for beer.
Oh man, the worst. What's the worst beer you've ever had?
A worst beer I've ever had? Oh, probably like Natural Light or Bush Light or one of those you drink because when you're in college and it's like a 12 pack is $4 and you're like, I'll take it, Guy says he loves Olivia Munn. She got her start on G4 TV and back to clips of her cosplay as Wonder Woman. Yeah, she. I remember her from G4 specifically.
I liked her on G4, but she was not good in X-Men Apocalypse or in The Predator.
She was dating Aaron Rodgers for a while, and I'm a Packers fan. So around here, she got a bunch of bad press, like she's the reason he's playing bad. So,
that happened to Tony Romo. That's happening with the dude from the Swiftie guy from Kansas City.
Kelsey. Yeah, exactly. Kelsey. That's what they do. Yeah,
Kelsey Swift.
Yeah. Now this, you can kind of see the way the train car looks and the way the subways look. There's a deleted scene from Escape from New York that's shot in this same LA subways with these same cars and everything, where Snake Plissken gets arrested. As soon as I saw it, I recognized it. It's like, hey, this is Escape from New York.
Yeah, that's definitely I like that scene, man.
Yes, this is the one that's tied to the Prey with the gun later on. And it said she's going to check out one of Katie's live streams. For sure do. Guy points out the Sam Kinison suit, the big oversized giant one. Yeah. And then Mayanne is putting her daughter to sleep. Which one? Your daughters are adorable. The older one is usually decent, but the young one is going to be up bothering you. So you're going to be here with us all night, Mayanne. We know that. Stand your ground is a big deal in places like Florida. Getting back to that Bernard Goetz subway stuff. Yeah, exactly. The Bernie Goetz stuff was the first time I'd ever really heard that national discussion, that whole stand your ground stuff. Oh, God.
Oh, man. And there he is. Poor Bill Paxton. Killed by a predator, Terminator, and an alien. Or a xenomorph.
Attaboy.
We salute you, Bill Paxton.
Maria Conchita covered in blood with the big eyes. That's really kind of awesome imagery. And then the predator come up and with the grab her by the throat.
I'll be right back, sir.
Okay, you go right ahead. I'm entranced by the predator looking deep into Maria Conchita's soul to do the thermal vision to see her heart beating, how fast it is, and he understands like how scared she is. Eric says, "Yeah, Bernard Goetz. He knew it. See, I was confusing him and Bernie Madoff. Bernie Goetz and Bernie Madoff. They're both New York. That's why my brain wasn't playing right." What happened to the recent military guy who accidentally killed the Michael Jackson? When I saw that whole deal, I immediately thought of the Bernard Goetz stuff again. Yeah, it was a very similar stuff. There was a beer brewed in pizza and money. Tried it, but it tasted terrible. Wow. I will try a pizza and money. That trumps most things, pizza and money. Like I know a lot of women who can't compete with pizza and money. So yeah. Cookie dye whiskey. Ooh, I'm not familiar with that. Olivia Munn is from my area. I live across the street from the high school she went to. Ben's always got good tidbits. Yeah, she seems like a nice lady. I don't know. I don't have any problem with her. BK, by the way, doing research. Oh, not a problem, Echo. I'm glad that you are here hanging out with us, listening along. You're a beloved part of the Night Owl community, my friend. Same with all of y'all. I appreciate everybody here. Echo and Professor Macabro and Guy and Eric and Ben, Mayanne, listening, Nanette, Katie. Yeah, everybody got our peoples here. It's nice to have you. And Larry, a bunch of folks who are friends from Larry's channel have already dropped by. So it's been a nice party with you folks. I appreciate it. So now Danny Glover has gone off on his own. And once again, just covered in sweat. Like the whole point of this movie is to show like how LA is just getting so hot. So everybody is just sweat covered and dirty. And that's one of the things that jumps out to me about Danny Glover in this movie. Whenever I think of him, it's just, he's filthy. He needs a bath.
Everybody needs a bath in this movie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, except for Ruben Blades, Bill Paxton, and everybody else who's been dead at this point. But
yeah,
they're free from showering. But
yeah, like even Danny Glover's pants, they're like super over,
That was the 90s, man. It's kind of confusing. My mom will still buy me stuff like a sweater for Christmas or something. It'll be like a 4XL because that's like what she bought me when I was in college or in high school. I try to explain to her, it's like, just please don't buy me clothes. It's all right.
Yeah, see, so like all those parts where you see the predator like jumping and all that stuff. See, like realistically, predators aren't supposed to do that. They're not supposed to reveal themselves like out in the open like that. That's why like this one's more of a showboat. He doesn't care,
But isn't he kind of desperate too? Like, he was trapped in the subways and he got his way out and he's running away from Danny Glover, which is absurd. Why would a predator run from Danny Glover? But
well, I feel like it's still more he's like toying with him.
Yeah.
He's making him like, oh, chase me. Like he's wanting to. I feel like at this point he's trying to see if the predator is trying to get him to like see how he can, what is he made of, kind of like in the first one where when he realizes that Arnold is like a formidable foe, out of respect he disarms himself and he's like, okay, we're gonna go hand to hand. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of what this predator's doing. He's kind of like, okay, let's see what you're made of.
Let me see. We are there is 43:22 left. That's one of the other problems with Max that always frustrates me is they don't give me the where I'm at. They give me how much is left. So 43:22 left in the film. But yeah, we see.
Which is strange. It feels like it's almost over, right?
That's why I checked, because we're building to the part where most of Danny Glover's associates and friends have either been killed or we're waiting for Busey to get his comeuppance. But yeah, we feel like we're working our way towards the third act.
Mm-hmm.
Here, Glover's in the middle of chasing the predator, and then he gets ramrodded, sideswiped by a T-boned, I guess would be the proper term, by a big pickup truck, and Busey's henchmen jump out, the Adam Baldwin boys, the knockoff Adam Baldwin boys. That's an iconic shot. Yep. Him standing by the clock in the middle of LA with the lightning hitting his staff like it was a lightning rod. That's an amazing shot.
NECA made a figure of that too.
Do you have that one? You do. All right. Is there a review on your channel of that one?
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah. Well, be sure to subscribe to Larry so you can see the review of the Predator 2 lightning rod holder.
Yeah, that one's called a City Demon, and apparently so it has like a light sensor when you open the flap. Like the figure is translucent.
Oh, that's cool.
So like it does like a strobe effect to where it looks like the electricity is like, or the lightning's kind of going through them. So,
well, yeah, I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for that review when you open that one up and take a look at it. So once again, this is a good opportunity to make sure you subscribe to our friend Larry at the HorrorCatDad, and if you're a fan of the Predator or what would you say your biggest franchises you cover are on your channel? I know you've done the Predator. You're a big fan of Gremlins. You've had a bunch of Freddy and Jason stuff. What would you say your biggies are?
Man, I would say if anything, aside from Predator, it'd probably be Universal Monsters.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because between the Universal Monsters and the Turtle crossovers, you've covered a lot of them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then I would say those are probably the big two. Which is odd because like I have like so many different collectible stuff, but I just feel like, and that's why I try like Wednesdays. It's a kind of like it's kind of like, what's this? You know, it's just something different. You know, because I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, I still keep getting, you know, figures. In fact, like, you know, just FYI, Count Orlok's coming soon.
Oh,
Um,
another reason to subscribe.
but no, I mean, yeah, there's just so much stuff coming out. You know, it's just like when I did my top 5 figures for last year, most of them were NECA. You know, and it's just kind of like, well, I mean, there was some other stuff I threw in there because it was just like, all right, well, I there is other stuff that I review. You know, it's just not NECA figures, even though it seems that way. But a lot of my older stuff was like Funko Pops and stuff, and I have that stuff too. I just feel like Fridays is kind of usually ends up being like NECA figures.
Well, I find like the Funko Pops, they're cute, but they're a bit one dimensional. Like it's kind of
Mhm.
like, oh, look, they made whatever, you know, this version of Freddy or this version of Jason as a Funko, or here's this Harry Potter character or whatever. But they're kind of a one note joke as opposed to the NECA figures where when you open them up and start taking them out, you look at all the accessories and the different hands and the detail and the face sculpting and like, wow, that face looks real. Like, you
Mhm.
know, there's so much going on with those NECA figures. They're more expensive and they're harder to find and everything. So they're ones I think folks just don't get a chance to get a good look at without videos like yours. That's why I dig them.
Yeah, that's why I like the one I just mentioned, the translucent one. That's why I haven't done it yet, because it's going to be one that's like, I want to fit that in the schedule, like somewhere random to where people are not expecting when it's going to come out. You know.
Maybe we'll plan for another Predator movie and we'll coordinate it with your release of the translucent NECA figure. We'll do a joint collab. Let's get back to the chat. Mayan says her oldest is sleeping. She's putting the little one to sleep. That a girl. Put those cute kids to bed. She said her halo is out of place. There we go. Now it's back in place. Um, exactly. Uh, Let me see here. Olivia Munn is with a comedian now, right? I believe she's with what's his name, Mulaney or whatever. I haven't followed John Mulaney's whole trials and tribulations of his cocaine addiction and stuff, but yeah, I believe there was a whole bunch of gossip regarding him and Olivia Munn being together and all that. So.
Wow.
Yes, Guy, I'm enjoying Joke of the Day. If you're not familiar with Caveman Movies and More on Instagram, once a day he posts a Joke of the Day. Do you post them still to YouTube? I think at one point you did. I don't remember. But yeah, for sure, check out Guy on Instagram if you always need a good joke. Echo's hassling Mayan. That's it. Echo loves the needle and prod Queen Mayan, and she says she has horns. The wings broke when you became a teenager. Who would be a good actor of choice if they were to make a new Predator movie? Like, I'm assuming you mean like if they made one in the jungle or just any Predator movie. Who you like, Larry? Who would you like to see as the star of a new Predator film? Just somebody who could hold the screen.
I need I none of the top tough whatever's considered action now. Like I wouldn't, none of them. No The Rock, no
Yeah,
Vin.
exactly. I think
You know,
everybody's go-to would probably be The Rock, right? But yeah,
yeah,
it
man.
feels redundant. Yeah.
I can almost, I mean, almost, and this is not just because I'm a big fan of his. Um, I would say, if anything, I think he could play like an everyman Tom Hardy.
Well, that's the thing. I think there's certain like big name actors that you could plug in that role. You know, Tom
Mhm.
Hardy, or I don't know, maybe what's Channing Tatum doing these days? Is he ready to start fighting predators?
Nah,
Um,
I wouldn't
but
want him either.
you know who I would actually like, or what I would like, is uh, B movie Expendables. So give me basically Cynthia Rothrock, Jackie Chan, but Jackie's probably a little too big of a deal. But do like the Expendables. Give me old action stars. Give me Dolph Lundgren. Give me all them. Um, maybe they're retired military people getting together at some cabin for New Year's Eve and they're attacked by a predator or some shit. Like, I would be interested in seeing him fight another ensemble cast of interesting individuals, not so much like, yeah, The Rock and a bunch of no-name, The Rock and Shia LaBeouf. It's like, no, I don't give a shit. You know?
Well, it's like I mean, the Predator tried to do it, and it failed miserably.
Well, The Predator, yeah, they had the right idea of get the ensemble cast back, but they dropped the ball with the no woman thing. In the first Predator, with the actress that's in that, and then Maria Conchita in this, and then the woman that's the star of Prey, I feel like there needs to be that feminine opponent to the Predator. They always put up a good fight, you know. So whatchamacallit, Predators, the Predator, I mean, is a mess because of the whole thing where Olivia Munn's whatever got her theories about how being autistic is the next evolution of humanity and all this nonsense. So it gets too far away from just people fighting the Predator. You know? Mm-hmm. Someone stole all her mustard. The crawling up the wall looks really fake. Yeah, that's what I mean. There are certain aspects that look amazing in this, and there are other things that are where it's like, I think they saved money. Larry is the Jotha hunter. What is it with you and mustard tonight? Ben subscribed to Horror Cat Time for some time now. Yeah, Larry's a friend of the channel. We've been buddies for, I don't know, coming up on a year now, I would say. Got to be getting close. Yeah, but got to be getting close. And
well, you've been yeah, man. I mean, you've been a good part of the channel, like, you know, before we started chatting and stuff. I mean, you've been a good, you know, you would comment on the videos and stuff like that, and then I started watching your stuff, and your stuff reminded me a lot of like I've told you before, man. It's like it reminded me a lot of like me and my buddies back home, like all this stuff that, you know, us watching movies and stuff, but it reminds me of that, you know. So yeah, it's weird to think it's been like it's already gonna be a year soon.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know when we first started really hanging out and collaborating, but you were, I believe, the first person I had a guest on for the channel. And the reason I pointed out is because you're such a such a good friend and supporter, and always cool with watching stuff. And we, you know, watch each other's stuff and support each other. You know, make sure we're being positive. The internet can be a cruel place. So if you got 2 or 3 friends, you know, you can withstand the jerks who pop up. So you know, there's strength in numbers. But Two Boys and Their Scary Pops, are you excited for the Nosferatu movie? You a fan of it?
I'm excited. I've seen some screenshots. Willem Dafoe looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it'll be. I mean, has there really been a bad Nosferatu movie though? Because I mean, even the Klaus Kinski one was good. I still love the original, obviously, but I mean,
that's the thing. I have a complicated relationship with Nosferatu. Like, part of, like, I could talk for an hour about how I love it and everything that's great, and I could probably give you a half-hour breakdown of why it's like awful and racist, and it's like all these horrible imagery of, like, you know, they used to make these cartoons of immigrants back in the day of, like, you know, just big pointy noses, and there are these shysters who are going to bring, you know, sickness to your society and steal your land and take your women and all this stuff. And that's like basically what the Nosferatu character gets put as. But at the same time, the Max Schreck performance and the Morno's direction and the use of shadow, and like, it's a complicated movie. I may have to have a watch of Nosferatu and explain all my feelings, but yeah, I do love me some Nosferatu. The
Shadow of the Vampire.
Shadow of the Vampire is pretty damn good. I haven't seen it in a while, with Willem Dafoe as Shrek.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the director in that? I can't even remember.
Like, who plays Morno in that?
Morno, yeah.
It's Malkovich.
Malkovich, there you go. Yeah. So Malkovich kind of steals the show in that. Well, Malkovich and Willem Dafoe. So in the movie, actually right now, we're seeing the water causing issues with his ability to disappear, and some of the other damage he's taken. But we're at the 30 minutes left in the movie, so we figure with credits probably a good 25.
Seeing the pacing for this movie is great. It's like it's just blazing by, you know.
Yeah, well, it's got really good. I talk about like when you're making a type of genre movie. So like a horror movie, roughly every 10 minutes you want a horror beat to happen. Or if you're making an action movie, every 10 minutes you want an action beat to happen. Well, this is a combination of horror and action. So we're kind of getting these beats staggered, like something horrible happened, and then we'll get like a cool sci-fi thing, and then they'll come back with, yeah, Danny Glover is swole there. Look at his arm. He's huge. Like there's one shot where you can see like his arm carrying a gun. He's clearly been lifting weights. Like he's big.
What I was gonna point out was like in all those like slabs of beef that are hanging, it's like where is that one of the Rocky ones?
This is
one of the Rocky slabs of beef where he's punching the beef.
We just watched Motel Hell on my channel like 3 nights ago, and there's a whole slaughterhouse section in there too, with just the sides of beef or sides of swine hanging from the ceiling. But this is all supposed to be like how the Predator does it, like how when he cuts his victims and hangs them, and they drip dry.
They had the rain in this. There you go. That's the callback to Blade Runner.
Yeah. Well, wait till later on. There's a scene where they're like fighting on the side of a building, and it just reminds me so much of the very end of Blade Runner when Harrison Ford's hanging off there, and Roy Batty helps him up, and he gives his big soliloquy about tears in the rain and all that. Predator feet.
We got to do that one.
The Predator is. I give the Predator a 1 out of 5 on Wiki Feet. What's your Predator Wiki Feet score, Larry?
Oh man,
he needs to get his toes did. The Predator's toes are rough. The Predator can't stay over with toes like that.
Well, I mean, when he's running across like all these different terrains and stuff, it's kind of like, how do you keep that fresh? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the pedicure on a Predator is a lot. In the chat, they're kind of discussing the Funko Pops versus NECA. But yeah, the Funko Pops people love. Figures and Pops for me. Yeah, see, the Pops, they have a charm, but they're so basic. They're not, once you see it, there's not much more to see. But the NECA, it's like, no, let's open this up. Let's take out all the different hands. Let's look at all the different weapons. There's so much cool stuff to look at. My favorite video of Larry are for sure his NECA Elviras and his Predator figures. Oh, that's right, Elvira. Yeah, of course the professor's going to love Elvira. Cassandra, gosh, love her.
Somebody's scraping on the door, man. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that.
Oh, is it Switch?
Yep.
We're going to switch it up for you, folks. Professor, when are you going to get an Elvira standee? I didn't have Caveman and IG. Oh, yeah, make sure you get him, man. He's fun. He's got the joke of the day. He's also got the Slim Sherry videos. Cal Daily says he's got a new shout out. If you're into TV show, check. Definitely. So for those of you who haven't been to our friend Cal L. Daly's channel, he's often good on hauls, and he breaks down, of course, all the Superman stuff, but really he just breaks down a lot of the physical media and stuff. So be sure to check out our friend Cal L. Daly. Just give a sequel to 2010 is what I want. Oh, wow. Whenever I can find
the Predators, that one?
That's what I would assume, unless he's a big Arthur C. Clarke fan and wants to find out what happens with Hal and all them. Let's see here. Whenever I can find and afford one Echo, it gets too desperate. I could convince Zombie Deathcitos to cosplay as Elvira again. Yeah, when Zombie Deathcitos had the balloons in there, she was an attractive woman. She was or attractive skeleton, I should say. I apologize. Professor, I had one censored, but I had one installed. The Rocket.
Oh man.
Yeah, he thinks that the Rock would be a classic Arnold replacement. So there we see the what do you call it? Shuriken or whatever, the memory disk. What do you call it?
Smart disk.
Smart disk. Thank you. It always reminds me of Batman has like a batarang that kind of looks that same thing, but it also reminds me of what's it called? The lathe or whatever it's called in Krull.
The glaive.
Glaive, that's what it is. The glaive. Yeah, it's like the big Chinese shuriken kind of thing.
Now, what are your thoughts on Krull?
Krull I enjoy, but I haven't seen in a long time. So the likelihood that it stands up seems very, very small. But when I think of it, I remember it's a very Lord of the Ringsian kind of, we get the giant, and then we get the little kid and the guy, the wizard, and all that. It's a fun adventure, but I don't think it's probably as good as a Never-Ending Story and a bunch of other things I would lump in there with it.
I don't know, man. I love that movie.
What Krull? I haven't seen it in so long. That's one I would like to watch again.
It's one of Liam Neeson's first roles.
Yeah.
Not his first role. I think it is actually his first role.
Well, I'm pretty sure Old Boy, the star of it, is. I think that was kind of where I got the idea of having a beard. Got to have a beard like Krull guy. That'll work. I can't imagine Vin Diesel and The Rock aging well and Sly and Schwarzenegger are today. Yeah. Well, Vin especially. The Rock, I don't know. He was on wrestling a couple nights ago and there were videos all over the internet, and he's huge. He's the biggest I've ever seen him. Like, his arms look like legs at this point. He's ridiculous.
It's nuts.
Yeah, I know about the haters. I've been called a streaming Nazi on my channel. Oh, dear Lord. Yeah. They strange folks love to be mean on the internet. They need to get a life. True words, whether they stand up for good people when you see wrong. Yeah, they're discussing how creeps are out there. I'm a big fan of vampire movies, but I've never seen any of the Nosferatu movies. I would recommend watching the Nosferatus in order. I would start off with the old original, 1895 or whatever the hell it is, 1898 or whatever, when the original Nosferatu comes out. But then, watch the Klaus Kinski, Werner Herzog one.
And then Shadow of the Vampire. I mean, it's not necessarily Nosferatu, but it's like supposed to be depicting the events that happen. It's like a dramatization of like what happened behind the scenes of the making of Nosferatu. But it's still a good movie. I still dig that movie.
Now, see, all this is what I'm talking about. Reminds me of Blade Runner, where he's like, "Okay, pussy face," when when they're hanging off the side of the building. Like, I don't know. It reminds me so much right there, where we see the alley below and the opposite building to the alley that he's fallen down. It just reminds me of them up on the hotel of Blade Runner so much.
I think I never noticed it just because like they don't pan back enough to where you can see the building. Like it's just kind of like contained like right there. You see you see the alleyway and stuff like that, but I feel like you don't really see too much of like a far or more of a wide shot of like everything like the building, Right? Yeah, I can see that whole part where he's telling him right like when he picks him up. I think maybe that's where you're thinking of when Harrison Ford's about to fall off and he helps him up.
And Roy Batty saves him and pulls him up, because obviously this would all be in the rain if it was Blade Runner, but just the tight alleyway and like the actually it might even still be coming. There's a scene that this is the part too, also with the pipe on the wall and all that. It just feels like we've seen this before, but that's actually a trope in cinema. The all is lost moment where one of our characters is hanging, dangling literally from a cliff, like a cliffhanger or a building. You want to have that audience feeling of that everything might not work out towards the end of the movie. I remember the first time I saw this scene where the Predator starts breaking stuff off the wall and he mushes it all together and he makes like this whatever in the sink. This is really good writing because you're kind of confused and you want to see what he's trying to pull off.
Yeah. And even again, this goes back to like what I was telling you, where he's like kind of freaking out, like he's kind of like being up high up top. I like that's a character building thing where it's like it's a very real thing where like I'm afraid of heights. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Oh, I totally empathize, because especially after you defeat the Predator, real life thing. Well, whatever, for a moment, real life kicks back in. Like, oh crap, I'm 7 stories up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Glover just said he was 30 stories up, but I'm claiming BS on that. But
yeah, clearly he doesn't know how to count.
all this kind of reminds me of in Terminator 1 when Arnold does the surgery on his eyeball. Yeah, he goes in the bathroom and you kind of get this weird juxtaposition of strange alien with future technology mixed with modern human, bathrooms and stuff. It just feels extra weird.
Yeah, see, like that was the thing that I thought was that. What's interesting if when I was a kid, that part always like freaked me out. It's the whole like that. Actually, that was the part that scared me when I was younger. It was like
The Arnold.
when he first takes the eye out and you see the red eye. Like
Mhm.
that always for I don't know for whatever reason that always scared me when I was little. And
Well, it's gross to see an X-Acto knife or whatever like go into an eyeball and all that, but it's one of the faker looking scenes, like the Arnold fake head, but they don't
yeah,
they don't show it too much.
and then you see him like working on his hand, where he's like apparently had messed up his hand or something, and he's like fixing the circuitry or something like that. I always thought this was funny too with the old lady.
Yeah, she's listening to Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Herb, wake up! There's somebody in the bathroom. Yeah, this is all like what is it, Rambo or whatever, First Blood 2 when he has to like, or is it 3 when he like gets shot and he has to like cauterize his own wound and he's like
Yeah.
screaming alone or whatever. Yeah,
I think that's part 3, right?
I think it's
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, because he uses the thing and then like you see the actual like the burn go through the wound or something like
Yeah,
that.
he takes like maybe gunpowder or something and then burns a hole to cauterize the wound through his stomach. Yeah. But that's cool though that they had Glover and the Predator fighting, and then they
Mhm.
separate them for a minute. So Danny can traverse down the side of the building, and so the Predator can like re-heal himself, take care of the cut off arm deal, and do
So
some self-maintenance.
I'm gonna go mobile here real quick.
Oh, nice. Yeah, switch there. You got to let him in. Or her in. Oh, there we go. Hello. Hi, would you like a beer?
Yeah, she's done.
Switches okay, there you go. Look at you.
Finally.
There we go. She knows how to behave.
There she was.
Now you're an official horror cat dad. There's the funny line where Danny Glover goes into the older woman's house, the one we saw before, who was calling Herb. And she looks at him scared and he says, "It's okay, I'm a cop." And he's, "I don't think he cares.
Yeah.
I think he gives a shit."
Yeah, I love that scene. See, that's good humor, man. That's like
Well, this movie has, I think, probably, the first one has the humor of the jokes where the guy's always like the beats of him telling his little jokes, boy, you got a big pussy, boy, you got a big pussy. Like that whole stuff is funny. And boy, you got a big pussy. Sorry, that was too easy. But with all that going on, it like breaks it up with little jokes. And here they have to kind of have the comedy work naturally within the story. So there's lots of little beats of just funny side dialogue, especially Bill Paxton and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Need another Tango and Cash type film. Yeah, don't we all?
Would a Tango and Cash like an actual sequel work with Sly and Kurt Russell? I mean, Kurt Russell still looks great. Sly looks a little worse for wear now.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you could do like a Butch and Sundance kind of thing. Maybe they're on the run again from the cops, and they got to go to Mexico or whatever. But I don't know if Tango and Cash was a big enough deal to get a sequel.
Which is weird though, because I always hear everybody talk like in chats and stuff I've been in. Like people talk about they talk about Tango and Cash all the time.
Well, I think it's a classic name too. People remember it. Blade Runner, you get like 4 or 5 episodes out of each one of the different cuts. Yeah, there's a lot of different cuts in Blade Runner. That's one of the only issues with it. Eric says, yeah, that Nanette OG Nosferatu is a good watch. 2010 Predator sequel. Okay, that's what we thought. Yeah.
They did continue it in the comics.
The Predators. They have a follow up to it.
Yeah, in the comics they do.
Well, I liked Predators because of the whole thing where we went to their planet instead of them coming to ours, and then there was the whole subplot with the serial killer and all that. Like that was cool. I mean, it held my attention.
I don't know if I mentioned in the last time. Well, that story, that actual story, Robert Rodriguez actually wrote a treatment for Predator 3. And Predator 3 in his story was supposed to be the Predators capture Danny Glover's character and Arnold's character, and they take him to the Predator homeworld to fight in a Coliseum type gladiator type fight.
Gladiator deal, okay. Kind of so like Thor Ragnarok or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so they do something like that was his story. So like the fact that
there's your xenomorph head. Sorry. Yeah. They just went by. I'm sorry, keep going.
No, I mean that's where they kind of like if you watch Predators, it still has a little similar to that element where they put them on there as a sort of like there's a group of them being hunted. So I like that they kind of kept that element. It kind of takes me back to that story that he did. And yeah.
Well, I know Rodriguez wanted to make that third Predator movie for a while, and then he was making Alita Battle Angel or something, and he couldn't direct it, so he passed it off to someone else, and then he produced it, I believe. Predators.
Yeah, it was presented by or produced by or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of people think he directed it, but yeah, he just sort of oversaw it.
Yeah.
I like the stuff where he gets zapped, where he gets shot with the net, and the net holds him against the wall, and it's so tight, and then he has to use the Predator technology to cut the rope or whatever to get out. Like he's plugged in with their stuff, so he has a way to fight against it.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. He stabs him right in the chest with it.
Yeah, well, see, there goes that whole cocky, him being cocky. He was like, just playing with him, toying with him, and then that's, he outsmarted him essentially. He, ran him through, thinking that he was like, or playing possum, basically.
In this one, they put a little bit more detail, I think, on the Predator's head and like the ornamentation of like on the top. I think there's a little more color than in the original.
Yeah, in this one, he's definitely more insectoid.
Yeah, he looks more like a spider. His head does, in my opinion, than the first one. But I also think that part of the reason the Jamaican gang was included in this is because in that first one, a lot of people made comments about the Predator looking like he has dreadlocks. So I think that's part of the reason they included the Jamaican voodoo gang in this when they wrote it. It's like, well, it seems to make sense to have, a Jamaican connection with this Bob Marley looking alien.
I like that they do a little like he's twitching, even though he's dead. Like you see the mandible twitching a little bit. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, very like you say, very bug-like. Like it looks like a dying spider almost. Yeah. And I like the neon green blood. The looks like a broken glow stick or something.
Yeah, antifreeze.
Yeah. But it looks so good against the orange. Like this is all, So there's the Lost Tribe, and here's the compositing we were talking about. Where
the bad compositing.
Yeah, it looks like perhaps maybe they fogged out the bottom, and then you could still see the legs, so it just wasn't impressive. So they like just trimmed, like they cropped everybody's legs, the Lost Tribe's legs off, so they look sort of weird. But they're all awesome looking though.
Ever since I saw like that guy right there, the grayback favorite, man. He's always been my favorite.
Well, this is just such an interesting tidbit to throw in here. Like, we've seen our hero of a movie fight a predator and defeat him like Arnold did. So when we see this one, we see the group and the lost tribe, as it were, and we feel that there's like a deep culture and a history to them and stuff. Like you get so much out of just this little scene.
Mm-hmm. And then just just even looking at this guy Grayback, you see like so much. There's so many things on him. Like they took the time to make him so unique in his appearance.
Well, yeah, he's got the gray hair. There, distorted. Take it.
Yeah.
And there's the gun, 1715. And that's the one that shows up in Prey, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the detail where they just try to decide, like, what would an alien or a predator look like as they became older? Like, the growing the little gray horns out of his face and having the gray hair, like, showing
Dreads.
up in the little dreads and stuff. Yeah, I was trying to avoid calling them dreads, and I couldn't think of anything to call them besides that. But all this where Danny Glover's inside the Predator ship, and there's all this like ornamentation on the wall and like hieroglyphics and stuff.
I wonder if they kind of took that from sort of Giger-esque,
I was thinking it looks a lot like Aliens. Yeah, that's terrible right there. Where with the big explosion and Danny Glover runs away from it, you can kind of tell that they composited in a shadow running from the explosion. It's pretty awful, but at this point, you got to wonder how much budget was actually left. I mean, they've thrown so much on the screen.
Or they were just like, well, we'll spend the real money on the good stuff, Well,
it always makes me laugh. Like, a lot of movies like this, you see the worst effects towards the end of the movie because they were starting to run out of money. But you don't shoot a movie in order. You know what I mean? You shoot it availability to sets or to cast. So the fact that the bad effects almost always end up at the end of a movie make me think it has something to do with like the polish. Like the going in and cleaning it up digitally or trying to, light it or put the sound effects over it to make it better. Danny Glover walking out covered in ash and soot, completely white. He looks almost like when Arnold was covered in the mud in the first one.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this last like they tried to go beat for beat for the last film.
Yeah, I was going to say this all feels like the first one.
Because even then, a helicopter shows up just like right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's how you end a Predator movie. It's like, well, how do we do it last time?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're going to need our guy to be covered in dirt. We're going to have a helicopter come by. But all this is, I don't know, I guess it's just some sort of abandoned lot in LA somewhere, like with all that, with the bridge in the background and stuff. That's a very impressive, expensive shot.
Mm-hmm.
Here's stupid Adam Baldwin, my bodyguard.
Man, I like that he's been through all that and he's just like, you'll get another chance. Like it's just like another day in the office. Like now he's just like, cool, I'm good. I can take on anything.
We got that old 1715 pirate gun.
Mm-hmm. Which I will say, oddly enough, they kind of Prey kind of missed, kind of retconned something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because so in this one you see the gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so apparently there was a comic that explained where the gun came from.
Oh, okay.
So they show Grayback, but before he was Grayback, he was known as a Golden Angel. So in the comic, this is taking place back then where it says on the gun, and he's like on some island somewhere, and all of a sudden these pirates show up, and they had just like stolen some gold, and then the captain was Captain Adelini, which that's the name on the gun.
Okay.
So the pirates, they perform a mutiny on the captain, and then so the captain starts fighting him off, and then the Predator gets involved, and he starts helping the captain fight off the pirates. So then it's gonna be at the end. It's like Adelini versus that Predator, which is Greyback. But he ends up getting killed by one of the last like pirates that was wounded. He killed Adelini before they could like go toe to toe, you know. And
Yeah.
then, so then the Predator killed him, and as an honorable death, like he buried Adelini with his cutlass, and then he took the gun, and that's how he got. That's the story how he got the gun in the comics.
Okay.
And Prey, when they come back, when they show the gun, they show like how the gun comes in and stuff like that, but they retcon that story in the comics.
Oh, okay.
They kind of undo that part, and then when they asked the director about it, like he was like, "Oh, I didn't know about that story until after the fact." So that's kind of like, it's a cool story. I was kind of hoping they would kind of include, when I saw the gun in the trailer, I was like, "Oh, that'd be kind of cool if they incorporate that story." But yeah, they ended up accidentally retconning it.
Well, I mean, I when I heard that the gun from part 2 turned up in Prey, I was like, well, that's good, because it's kind of a weird, almost unnecessary plot point. Like he doesn't use the gun to save himself in this one or anything. It's just sort of a cool thing. Like the Greyback's like, here, have an old school gun. Thank you. Here's your trophy. Creature created by Stan Winston. That's a good credit. This was directed by Stephen Hopkins. Stephen Hopkins is most known for A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Dream Child, Predator 2, Judgment Night, and Blown Away, The Ghost in the Darkness, Lost in Space.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got a decent IMDb. Primarily, he was the TV movie for The Dark Tower in 2020. I didn't know that. But if I had to guess, he probably lost a lot of cred after Lost in Space or whatever. Where's it at? Yeah. Lost in Space in 98, because that one was considered a huge box office flop. And I noticed most of his stuff after that, like he goes to doing like TV episodes of 24 and stuff. So he had a pretty good run where he made Dream Child, Predator 2, Judgment Night, Blown Away, and then Ghost in the Darkness. So in Judgment Night, they actually reused the score from Predator 2. The soundtrack for Judgment Night is like a famous rock rap mix. So it's all these bands, but the score, the theme musics and stuff is just reused from Predator 2. They just completely take the score and use it in Judgment Night. I watched it with I had a watch along of Judgment Night with Cinephile Sanity and Juno 2000, Sean Blue Digital, and in there that was pointed out to me by Juno. That they reused the Silvestri score from Predator 2 in Judgment Night. So,
I need to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, it's worth giving a watch.
I mean, it's a good movie. I just need to go. I haven't seen it in so long. Like, even wasn't was Two Boys in?
Did you enjoy the Predators movie more or the Alien movies?
I'll let you take that question first.
Let's see. Alien 1 and Alien 2 are masterpieces. And then Alien 3 is an acquired taste. And then all the aliens after that are kind of sketchy. They're you can, depends on the individual. Predator, I think pretty much everybody likes Predator 1. And a lot of people like Prey, but the other stuff is sort of sketchy. Like Predator 2, people will argue with. I mean, we like it, and other people in the chat like it, but it takes a beating. Like I said, it's got low IMDb and low. Let's see, IMDb has it 6.3 out of 10. So, but its popularity has gone up. So I think it's one that people started to like later on. I would personally choose Aliens over Predator, but I don't know. Together they're very similar. It's hard to choose one or the other. What about you? Which do you like better out of the series?
So I would say I enjoy the Predator films. Well, okay. So I love Aliens. I love Alien, and I love Alien 3. Despite what anybody says, I love Alien 3.
I like Alien 3 too. I'm an Alien 3 guy. So
I'm Resurrection. Yeah, it's Resurrection.
Yeah, that's not right. The basketball stuff kills it for me. But anyways,
and then I really loved Prometheus, and then I didn't like what they did with Covenant. I feel like they really, really messed up with that one. But at the same time, if you look at it, Predator 1, I mean, it's a masterpiece. Predator 2 for me is like right up there, and then you have Prey. But if we took Prey out of the equation, you'd have like Predator, Predator 2, Predators, which is also a really good movie. I'd say that's the fourth best one. And then
I think Predators and Alien 3 are about equal, in my opinion. I like them both about equal. They're underrated gems, but 1 and 2, I think Alien 1 and 2 are stronger than Predator 1 and 2. Like as far as big deal movies, at least for me, they are.
See, I would put Aliens on par with the first Predator movie. Only reason being is because like the there's certain things like Bill Paxton's character, that's the jokey part or the humorous part, whereas you have Hawkins and you have that kind of, but I mean it's the you have these badass Marines, futuristic weapons, and it's like a oh shit moments, where they're like, oh, we're not the ultimate badasses that we thought we were, and that's kind of how it parallels, at least how I see it. It kind of parallels Predator, the first Predator, where it's like these are the ultimate badasses of,
Yeah, we sent an army to fight the monster.
Yeah, and it's like the one monster against, takes out these,
You like Predator 1 more than Aliens, or it's about tied, you think?
It's about tied for me. They're both a masterpiece.
Yeah, they're both 9s or 10s for me too. I would probably prefer Aliens like a pinch, like a 0.01 more than Predator. Just because Aliens is such a, I don't know, there's so much going on to it. As where Predator is it has just moments of cool. Like it's nice hanging out with those guys, it's cool to hang out with Carl Weathers, and it's cool to hang out with Bill Duke and, Sonny Landham and those guys. Those are all awesome dudes to hang out with. But
it's the camaraderie, But I mean, they have that in Aliens as well, because you really believe that those guys were like a unit. You know what I mean?
But I just think Aliens, it gives you the action, but it also gives you the horror. And there's that whole Sigourney Weaver as a mother subplot to Newt, and then her fighting the mother alien. Like, I think there's more there under the surface in Aliens that I like more than Predator. But
the stakes are definitely a lot higher.
Yeah.
They feel a lot higher.
But I would choose Alien over Predator 2. It's close though, because I'm not as big of a fan as Alien as most people is, especially since I think Aliens gives you everything you need from Alien except more.
Well, Alien is, I would say Alien is more of a slasher than Aliens.
Yeah, Alien, the original Alien to me is a haunted house movie in space. Like they're just trapped in this big dark building and they're walking around and there's something lurking in the shadows. It just happens to be a cool alien.
Plus, I mean, you got Ridley Scott.
Yeah, that's kind of the biggie there. Poor Danny Glover has a freaking mountain of paperwork after dealing with all this Predator drug war shit. I'll tell you what. I definitely agree with that. Boy, he's gonna be sitting at the desk. He's too old for that shit. Is what's happening.
Like he's writing out like, he's like, oh, I can imagine him like just writing out a mountain of paperwork, and it's like, God, I'm too old for this shit. Like that should have been like an end credit scene.
A button. Yeah, I would have taken that. Terminator 1 and Total Recall have the same special effects scene where he's removing the probe from his nose. Yeah, that is a similar scene with the special effects when he's pulling the lit up nose thing and they have like a fake of his head. It wasn't me. It was the one-armed Predator. Yeah, that's hard to explain to people. Jack was being out of control and not with me earlier, but he is now. Okay, so we have Jack here and we have Switch here. So it's a full-on event. It was the presser we ate and the last slice of pizza and drank all the crack and rum. There was the alien skull in the trophy room. Yeah, we kind of pointed that out. That was crazy. It's how polished and white it is and how bleached out and stuff. It was pretty cool, though, to see. Okay, me time, finally, man. Finally got the kids to bed. Attaboy, get them babies to sleep. Let's see here. Broken lava lamp. Oh, the goo. When we were talking about the green blood, it looks like a broken lava lamp. Lawrence Fishburne's character would be fun to follow in a Predator movie as a lead. Yeah, to see the one from Predators. I'd be interested in seeing where that goes.
Yeah, that'd be a cool like a prequel sort of thing to Predators. That'd be kind of cool.
Man's gonna take a shower and watch a horror movie. Awesome. Let us know what you watch. Let me see here. Then watch a trauma one.
Now, which trauma one would you watch? That's the question.
When I was talking about the Danny Glover composite shot of running away from the explosion, he says it's still better than the one in Mac and Me. I would agree. The one in Mac and Me is pretty terrible. Terrible.
Mac and Me is overall terrible.
Well, it's terrible brilliance. Great matte painting of him escaping the ship. Go traumatize someone else, Echo. All right, these two are arguing about that. And they says, no, okay, if you're not going to watch Trauma, watch something from the Asylum. I love that movie, My Bodyguard. There's a reference to Adam Baldwin. Yeah, when I was a kid, the Adam Baldwin as the big bully who works against the other bullies was a crazy movie. I don't watch Trauma while I'm in. Come on down to the Asylum. I said, Professor's chilling for the Asylum. Waiting for the Lethal Weapon. I'm too old for this shit, so he wants it as well.
It's like, just throw it in there. It's just like end credit scene, man. Throwaway scene.
Man would like to know a good Asylum movie. There is no such thing.
If you're talking about like not Asylum, the an Asylum movie, Unsane. That's a good one.
I would go with In the Mouth of Madness, the beginning and the end. ITN puts out better movies than Asylum. Do a stream together, Nena and Echo. Titanic 2 for the Asylum recommendation. Let's see here. 11, 11, 11, 12, 12, 12, 13, 13, 13, 16, 6, 6, The Child, 6, 6, 6, The Beast. All of those would be clantastic. Haven't seen any of those. Mac and Me also has the scene of the different rendition of the Predator music. I was not aware of that.
What? She even switched. She didn't know that either. She freaked out.
She was like, what? Nanette likes Lost in Space. So there you go. There's one. I saw it in the theater. It wasn't my cup of tea. I'm a fan of the old school show.
I like the show.
Man, why not watch the other Hell House LLC movies? Yeah, I need to see those. Nanette says she couldn't stand Prey. Yeah, I didn't watch it. I didn't have Hulu when it came out. I need to buy it on disc, I think. Let me see here. Oh, glad they enjoyed it and happy to have sent it. Oh, they're talking about the Chucky that Eric sent Mayanne. Let's see here. When do you want to watch them? These two are working out streams. Who would be better in reverse roles, Sigourney Weaver or Predator, or Arnold in the Alien franchise?
Man,
that's a tough one. I would watch either.
I would. Yeah, I would. The only thing
I would like to see Arnold in the Alien franchise, and I'd be cool with seeing Sigourney finally defeat the xenomorphs and then get attacked by predators and be like, "You got to be kidding me!"
Yeah. No, I mean, I could see her in. Actually, I would see her in Predator 2. Arnold, I'd see him in Aliens.
Yeah, I would like to see maybe like if they did a sequel to Aliens. Like I don't need Arnold in Aliens. Aliens has enough. But if there was like an Aliens 2, which would be part 3, I guess, whatever. If there was a sequel to Aliens, then yeah, I would like to see Arnold in that.
More aliens.
Yeah, even more aliens. The Hatchet Boys were here. Hey, everyone. Thank you for coming. Just dropped in to say hi. I'm off to bed now. I have a great stream, guy. Thank you, Hatchet Boys. We appreciate you driving by. We're wrapping her up ourselves, Mr. P. Rich. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Thank you, Guy. I appreciate that. Hello, man, Nanette, and thank you, you too. So, yeah, that's nice. We had a bunch of friends drop by and say hello. We have watched Predator 2 from beginning to end to now add to our previous watching of Predator, which is available on my channel. If you're a fan of hearing Larry talk about Predators, you can see behind him on the shelves there a variety of NECA toys and all sorts of things. You can go to his channel and learn about the history of the Predators and all the different names and the folks of the Lost Tribe. He's currently in the middle of collecting them all. Have a good night and sleep well, Hatch Boys. Yeah, have a good night, everyone. God bless us, everyone. So thank you so much, everybody, for dropping by and hanging out with me and my friend Larry, the Horror Cat Dad, internet favorite. Did you any new thoughts or interesting opinions on Predator 2 after this watching, Larry?
No, I still love it.
Still love it. Still the same awesome movie it was when we started it.
Well, I saw this film back in the theaters when my uncle took me to the Dollar Cinema to watch it. So for me, I was like, man, I love this movie. Totally invested. So I've loved it ever since then. And I think that's kind of also the same with Alien 3. My mom took me to go see it when it came out in the theater. So I think that also kind of adds to my experiences, like seeing it in the theater, experiencing it, as a kid,
Well, when you're little, especially, it's weird. I can remember like every movie I've seen in the theater. Like when I see a title of a movie, it's like, oh, saw that in the theater. Even the ones I saw when I was a young child and, whatever, or no matter what age I am, I remember, oh, that was a theater movie. Both of those, Predator 2 and Alien 3, those were both VHS. As soon as they came out, you go on that first Tuesday and rent them and you try to beat it out, get there early in the week. So you have to return it before the weekend and you go pick up another 3. So Predator 2 and Alien 3 were both VHS Blockbuster or whatever key ones. And then, of course, cable classics. They were on cable forever, both of those, Alien 3 and Predator 2. That's why I've seen Predator 2 so many times, is it was always on in the middle of the night. For someone who's up, it's easy to find Predator 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're trying to make their money back.
Man, that's another one. Professor Macabro says another amazing stream in the books. I thank you, Professor. You are a true friend of the channel and a gentleman. And also take your trash for heading out. Thank you. There's Mayan making sure to keep the theater clean.
And I have to say, Mayan, I'm still, we still have to do The Nun 2.
She's trying to get me to do The Nun with her too. Mayan, you cheating on me with Larry? This is hurtful.
Well, that's the thing. While you were on your hiatus, we had kind of talked about it in a stream, and then we had talked about it before. So,
because she had messaged me before, and she's like, "We should watch The Nun 2," and I was like, "I don't think I've seen The Nun 1," and she's like, "Well, watch them both, and we'll watch them." So, yeah, Mayan's trying to get me to do a stream of The Nun. So,
and that's the funny thing too. I haven't seen The Nun 1 either.
No, I've seen none of them. And then she sent me an emoji with a dirty look after I said I'd seen none of them. Glad I got to catch a scream. Thank you, Eric. We're glad you did too, man. I appreciate it, buddy. It was nice having you here. I always enjoy people contributing to the conversation, especially cool folks. Nice to see you here tonight, Nemesis. Hope you have a great night. I'm assuming she's talking to Echo. Larry, for nefarious reasons whatsoever, what's your location? I need it for research of Nekatoys. You got to be careful. Whenever the professor wants your location, he's plotting. He is plotting. Mr. Bones was here. Attaboy. Way to pop in and give me the 2 side eyes. That's my guy. Also, a hoot with a night owl. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. This is fun. You do a good live stream together. I love having Larry. Thank you, Nanette. I appreciate you guys coming. We got to do it, Larry. See, she's on it. Man's on it, my man. Let's do both buns. That's something Echo would do. Oh, I love a good butt joke. She's cheating on me with holy figures.
I thought you meant buns like...
Oh, like Carrie Fisher?
Yeah, like Leia buns. Star Wars buns.
She lines us all up with movies she wants to do. Pet Cemetery too. Man's just playing us all. You can't trust pretty women. They will just they'll lead us all astray. Bad to the bones. Hello, Bones. Shh, Bones. So... Well, I thank everyone for coming. I especially thank you, Larry and Switch, both for being here. Keep an eye out for Larry on his channel. Keep an eye out for Larry on my channel. I think we have a loose handshake agreement to do the 3rd Predator movie and maybe even the 4th Predator and 5th Predator. We'll see. Does that sound good to you, Switch? Yeah. All right. So. All right, everyone.
Doing with us.
Yeah, I know. She usually lays on the floor, so that's nice of her to pop up and share the screen with you. You guys are a good tag team.
I will say this, man.
I'm sure you did.
I'm actually surprised that you didn't say for us to do the thing with the whole snowed in stuff.
I had thought about us doing the thing. Me and you may have to get together and do that. I did a solo watch of it and then cut it up into highlights. So there's a half-hour version of highlights of me watching the thing available on my channel. But a complete live stream, I think me and you might have to coordinate that. Get a panel of thing experts.
No, man. Thank you again for having me on, and everybody. Man, maybe she can do this, but if you haven't voted, Don is up for Entertainer of the Month on Pugwall 316's channel. So yeah, if you haven't voted, go vote for Don or Mikey's Morgue or whoever you want to. But yeah, if you haven't voted, definitely I push for people to vote because
Well, that's kind of you to mention because. Matt, Pugwall 316, I will be on his channel on Tuesday. The simulcast will be available on my channel in case you're having trouble finding it. But I recommend you go check out our friend Pugwall 316. He's a hilarious, cool dude. And he nominated 4 fine people to be Entertainer of the Month for February. I'm one of them, me and Alucard. Mikey's Morgue. And oh, goodness, I'm drawing a blank.
Jay's Horror Gaming.
There we go. Professor Macagro says his vote went to me. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Do I mean a prequel to Carpenter's double feature? The prequel leads into the other. There you go. She'll go vote pretty soon. She's taking her time. She likes to wait till the last day. She wants to make sure everything's good. But anyways, I think we should let Larry go to bed. He has to get to sleep. Him and Switch. Switch took off, huh? I turned my head and she was gone. Hi, Switch.
She's like, all right, I'm out of here.
Happy trails, my friend. All right. Well, I thank you all for coming and joining us tonight, for being here for my special friend Larry to hang out and watch The Predator. He's the Predator master.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Oh, no problem. And you guys all have a nice Martin Luther King holiday tomorrow. And hopefully we'll see you back here for something tomorrow night. If not, for sure on Tuesday afternoon for watching of The Carpenter. Other than that, I guess this is my friend Larry and his cat Switch, all wishing you green grass and high tides forever. So have a wonderful night. Everybody stay warm. Good night.